Good morning, students.
Good morning,
so,
sir.
This is Nyan Saravanan. So we are dealing about medical electronics. So previously on medical electronics, whatever we have seen, let's have a recap. So we saw the introduction to the subjects, why medical electronics and where is medical electronics, what changes to medical electronics is brought to the society. Then we started the subject, we dealt with the origin of biopotential. We saw how atoms and ions differ and how ionic current originates in the body and how it is being carried out from the body through the electrodes. And then we saw about bioamplifiers. So in that we saw different types of bioamplifiers like instrumentation amplifier, differential amplifier and so on, right? So after that we stepped into medical recorders, biomedical recorders. So these are the equipments that will record the activity, electrical activity that is associated with the heart, that is ECG, with the brain, that is EEG, with the muscles, so that is EMG. So we have seen in detail all these titles. Then we stepped into second unit, which is assisting device. So the first one was pacemakers. We saw what is pacemakers and we had an introduction, types of pacemakers, demand of pacemakers and so on. So in yesterday's class, we saw about external pacemaker, right? So there are two types of pacemaker. So one is external and the other one is internal. So we have discussed about external pacemaker. So today we will see about internal pacemaker. Before that, let's have a brief of the basics. So in the heart functions automatically from the day one, right? So the heart, if you ask how does it functions automatically, there is something called as sinoatrial node or sinoatrial node. So that will generate a square pulse, round top square pulse. So that is driven throughout the heart through the nerves. And there is also another node, so which is called as atrioventricular node. So this acts like a delay circuit, means when the atrium is pumping, the ventricle should not pump. When the ventricle is pumping, the atrium should not pump. So that's how. So you can see that when this pumps, when the signal comes here, it takes a delay and then it goes here. So this was the basics. So what makes the need for pacemakers is when sinoatrial node fails, then there is no signal. Obviously the heart will stop and the person will die. Or even when there is a nerve damage between sinoatrial node to other parts, then also the problem comes. So when the problem comes, we have to fix it through pacemakers. Major parts, so we have already seen. So there are two major parts. So one is pulse generator. The agenda is to generate a similar pulse which is created by sinoatrial node. So we have a pulse generator, and other than that, these pulses should reach the body. So if it is external pacemaker, then we have electrodes. If it is internal pacemakers, then we will have leads. So today in internal pacemakers, we will have leads. So this was technical thing. So the pulse was a round top rectangular pulse. Its duration was about 1 to 3 milliseconds. It depends upon the person. So it is in the range. And then rate of or frequency is 50 to 150 pulse per minute. So there are two types. So we have seen the first one. So today we will see about the internal pacemaker. I have changed the diagram since the previous one was not visible. So here you can see that near the shoulders they have placed the internal pacemaker. From here you can see that the leads goes through the nerve and somewhere it connects inside. So that's how the heart is functioning, right? So this is the general arrangement. You can see that the stimulating pulse is applied through, we call it like wires or leads. So from now on we need to call it as catheter. So catheter is generally like a probe. So we make use of this term in medical field. So it can have wires, it can have leads, it can have cameras, it can have anything. So all that is simply called as a catheter. So a catheter is sent inside and it goes through the vein and gets connected to the heart. So that is what it happens. So then getting into internal pacemakers, so you can see that basically there are two blocks inside. So one is impulse generating circuits and the other one is the output circuit. So the impulse generating circuits determines the frequency, rate of the pulse, duration and so on. The output circuit determines the shape, means I told that it is not a flat top, it is a round top pulse, right? It is the shape and the amplitude is determined this. In general, some technical things to remember. So the voltage of the internal pacemaker is about 0 to 15 volt and the current will be in 1 to 20 milliamps. So that is the order of the amplitude, means volts and current. So if you see what are the requirements of a pacemaker, I should have animated, I missed it. So the first one is it should be highly reliable. Reliable means what? Trustworthy, depend upon, right? This is internal pacemaker, you are keeping it inside the patient. So it should be, once you do the operation and place it inside, you cannot operate again and again and change all these things. So it should be trustworthy. It should run for years. So that is the first criteria. The second one is battery life. So you know that this is a mobile device, so which is placed inside the body. So it should run for years and years, right? So it should not drain out after some few months or something like that. So initially the battery life was around 21 months, like more than 1.5 years. Then people modified and then they extended up to 5 years. Whereas nowadays the pacemakers warranty is for lifetime. Lifetime means it is 15 years, like life sentence. So it is, even mobile plan goes with lifetime. So it means 15 years. So once you place it, the battery lasts for 15 years. So that is the thing. There is another important condition that it should be biologically inert. Inert means chemically it should not react. Now when we place this arrangement inside the body, there are body fluids. So that should not make this device enter into corrosion, or the liquid should not get inside, and that's all. So or there should not be any kind of infection happening wherever we place it. So this device should be chemically and biologically inert. So that is the main requirement. So these are the important requirements or the constraints of internal pacemaker. So it should be reliable, trustworthy. Once you fix it, you need to forget about it. And the second one is it should have a long battery life. So now we have around 15 years of lifetime warranty. So then it should be biologically inert. It should not react and cause any other problems to the person. So that is about the conditions. So now these internal pacemakers, in other words it's called as implantable pacemakers, there are basically 5 types. So in which today we will see only about 2 types, and the rest 3 we will see in tomorrow's class. So the first one is like an external pacemaker. Here also there is something called as fixed rate pacemaker, and like also external pacemaker, here also there is something called as demand pacemaker. So there it was on demand pacemaker, so here it is demand pacemaker, and standby pacemaker, and then atrial synchronous pacemaker, atrial sequential ventricular inhibited pacemaker, and so on. So we will see one by one. So going to the first, so fixed rate pacemaker. Fixed rate pacemaker. So what do you understand from this? So the rate of pulse delivered is constant. It doesn't depend upon any other parameter. So this fixed rate pacemaker is also called as ventricular asynchronous pacemaker. So basically these 3 things, fixed rate pacemaker and demand pacemaker and standby pacemaker, it works along with QRS waveform or the ventricular motion, right? So that is why wherever the other name comes, there will be a name called as ventricle. So here, as the name indicates, it is going to generate the pulses on a fixed or a pace constant manner. So this is preferred in places where the sinoatrial node or the nerve damage is permanent, and we need to go for an artificial way of creating the pulses. So this is the places where permanent damage happens. So as like external pacemaker, here also the basic thing is the monostable multivibrator. So you know what is monostable multivibrator? It has one stable state. So whenever you give a trigger, it goes to an unstable state and comes back to the stable state. So that will always generate a rectangular pulse, right? So here you can see that to give the trigger to this monostable multivibrator, you have a pulse generator circuit. So that will generate the trigger pulse in a constant fashion. So whenever you need QRS waveform, so this will generate a pulse. So that's how it goes. So this will run in a constant rate. So that is why it is called as fixed rate pacemaker. So to deliver this, you have something called as electrodes. So here you have catheter arrangement. So through catheter, it is connected to the nerves. So that is fixed rate pacemaker. So is it clear?
Yes.
We'll go to the next one. So this is demand pacemaker. So demand means on some requirement you make the pacing or you give the signal, right? So this is preferred in places where the sinoatrial node is not completely damaged. So we rely on the natural pacing which is generated by the sinoatrial node. But whenever sinoatrial node runs into trouble, then this circuit is activated and then the entire pacing, the artificial pacing signal comes. Now there is a question comes, why do we need to do it? Why don't we go with the fixed rate itself? See, the continuous, the more you operate, the more the battery is going to be drained. The lesser you operate, the lesser lifetime of the battery or the circuit will be. So our agenda is to increase the battery time. So and also natural pacing is always better than the artificial one. So why? So that's why we rely on the natural pacing which is done by sinoatrial node. So whenever there's a problem, so what is that problem, I'll say. So whenever there's a problem, then this entire circuit will work. So here you can see that it is also called as R wave inhibited pacemaker. So we have seen yesterday PQRS waveform, right? In that QRS waveform, the QR, especially the QRS, that represents the ventricular motion. Ventricular motion. So this R wave indicates ventricular motion. Inhibited means no connection, no relation. So this is R wave inhibited or no related, or it is banned, something like that. The literal meaning is. So this will work whenever R wave is missing. So whenever in the PQRS waveform R wave is missing, so then I said the heart will not pump, the heart will quiver. Quiver is something like shivering, right? So whenever such condition comes, might be rarely when it comes, then that is being sensed. So from electrodes we have a reverse circuit too. So we'll sense whether the signal which is coming from the sinoatrial node has a proper QRS waveform. So when it is there, then we'll try to leave it. So when it is not there, means whenever Q means R wave is missing, the sensing circuit will give a signal to the pulse generator, or the pulse generator circuit is activated or powered on. So when this pulse generator is activated, then it goes to the sensing circuit. From there it goes to, actually the sensing circuit will have the monostable multivibrator. So from there it goes to the output circuit. So this is as similar to the previous one. The only difference is here you can see that there are two other additional blocks which is called as energy compensation and voltage monitor. This voltage monitor circuit will keep on monitoring the voltage level of the battery. So whenever for example in our mobile phones, whenever we run below 15%, it goes to standby mode or power conservation mode, right? So similarly, so whenever there is no signal from the sensing circuit, this energy compensation circuit will act, and the entire blocks except sensing circuit, this sensing circuit, everything goes to sleep. So whenever only when R wave is missing, then the circuit activates everything, and the pulse is generated. It is given through to the electrodes, means through the catheter, and the heart is being pumped. So this is as far as demand pacemaker is concerned. So is it clear? So we have planned an activity. So this activity I have told you, means this mini project was told in the very first class. So you need to design a heart rate measuring device using Arduino. So yesterday we saw pulse rate measurement. So that was given to one batch. So now I'm expecting for volunteers. So one batch has to design a heart rate measuring device using Arduino. So there are so many circuits on the net, so you can go through it. So I have given one thing, so it is readily available. Just do it yourself time. So you can check out and come out with a project after 1 month or something like that. So that's as for today.
Sir, your presentation is really good. So you explained about two categories of pacemakers.
Yes, sir.
So in demand pacemaker, you mentioned some R wave.
Yes, sir. R wave.
So in that stage, you can add some waveform there.
Like yesterday,
Like
QRS.
PQRS.
Yes.
Then apart from that, so for fixed rate pacemakers, better you can show some animations. So how this
Like
pacemaker-
constantly.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so I
that
think
can
of
be
it. I'll
added.
put it. So this I have changed. So since you gave a comment that it is not properly visible.
Yeah. So last class,
Last
the
class, yeah.
probes
so,
are not visible.
Yes. So today I have changed. Anything? Okay. So
Okay.
thank you.